Lily Martinez stood on her porch watching the unusual colors in the Nevada night sky. Something about those distant lights called to her in a way she could not explain. She had always been drawn to the stars even as a child, which led her to become a xenolinguist for the United Space Agency. Most people thought her job was pointless since humanity had never made contact with alien life. But Lily knew better. She had spent years listening to cosmic noise, detecting patterns that others dismissed as random. She believed someone was out there trying to communicate. Her communicator buzzed, breaking her concentration. "Lily here," she answered. "It's Kate." We picked up another signal. Her supervisor sounded excited. Same pattern as before, but much stronger. "You need to come in now." Lily grabbed her jacket and rushed to her car. The drive to the facility took 20 minutes, during which her mind raced with possibilities. After years of searching, could this finally be proof of intelligent alien life? The facility buzzed with activity when she arrived. People rushed through corridors with purpose and urgency. Lily made her way to the main communications lab, where Kate Morgan waited with several others, including General Adams, the military liaison. "What do we have?" Lily asked, approaching the main console. Kate nodded to a technician who displayed a visual representation of the signal. It showed the same mathematical sequence Lily had identified months ago, but now contained additional information that repeated at regular intervals. "This is definitely not natural." General Adams said, her voice tense. "Someone out there wants to talk." Lily felt her heart race as she began analyzing the new data. The signal contained what appeared to be a simple, mathematical key that would form the basis for translation. Something about it seemed feminine, though Lily could not explain how she knew this. She worked nonstop for 3 days, barely sleeping as she decoded more of the message. When she finally had enough to attempt communication, they sent a response using the same mathematical principles, a simple greeting and basic information about Earth. The reply came faster than anyone expected. Lily burst into the emergency meeting already in progress. "They call themselves the SciFi," she announced to the room full of government officials. "They are a spacefaring species primarily led by females. They want to meet us as..." "This a joke?" asked Secretary Wilson, his face skeptical. "No, sir." Kate replied, "The signal origin matches the trajectory of an object entering our solar system. We believe it's their ship." General Adams stood up. "How do we know this isn't a threat?" Lily displayed the translated message on the main screen. "Their language uses mathematical patterns that suggest peaceful intentions. They specifically requested a meeting with our leaders, particularly our female leaders." After hours of debate, a first contact protocol was established. A meeting would take place in 1 week at a remote, desert location. A small delegation would represent humanity, including Lily as the communication specialist. The days passed in a blur of preparation. Lily barely slept as she refined her understanding of the Scifistories language. She felt a strange connection to these beings, even though she had only communicated through mathematical signals. On the appointed night, Lily stood with Kate, General Adams, Dr. Samantha Lee, a xenobiologist, and Nancy Wright, a diplomat. The air felt electric with anticipation as they waited in the desert clearing. "Look," Kate whispered, pointing upward. The stars above seemed to shift, and then a soft blue light appeared, growing larger, until it formed a perfect circle 20 feet across. 3 figures emerged from the light and floated gently to the ground. Lily gasped. They were tall, slender beings with iridescent skin that shifted colors like oil on water. Their faces were almost human, with large almond eyes that reflected starlight. They wore flowing garments that seemed to move even when they stood still. The tallest of the 3 stepped forward, her movements graceful and deliberate. She spoke in a melodic language that seemed to resonate in Lily's mind. "We are the Scifistories. I am Matriarch Alora. We have watched your world for many cycles." Lily translated for the others, feeling a strange connection to these beings, especially the leader. Nancy stepped forward. "We welcome you to Earth. We hope this meeting begins a peaceful relationship between our peoples." The aliens communicated through a combination of sounds and color shifts in their skin. Lily found she could understand them more easily than expected, almost as if some part of her recognized their language instinctively. The matriarch studied the humans, her gaze lingering on Lily. Your females lead your delegation. This pleases us. On many worlds, males dominate, but we have found that female leadership brings balance and wisdom. General Adams spoke next. Why have you come to Earth? The matriarch gestured, and images appeared in the air between them showing star systems, planets, and what looked like battles. We seek allies. Our civilization faces extinction from the cracks and aggressive species that consumes worlds. They will find your planet soon, the eye. Revelation stunned the human delegation. The existence of not just one but two alien species, one of which posed a threat to Earth, changed everything. Over the following days, more meetings took place. The government established a temporary facility near the original contact site where Lily worked closely with the Scilicii, learning their language and culture. Lily discovered that the Scilicii society was matriarchal, with females holding positions of power and making most decisions for their people. Their technology was centuries beyond Earth's, with capabilities that seemed almost magical. They could manipulate gravity, create energy from seemingly nothing, and travel faster than light. A small group of Scilicii representatives remained on Earth. While diplomatic talks continued, Lily was assigned as their primary liaison, spending most of her time with them, especially with Nalara, a Scilicii scientist specializing in communication and defense technology. Your species fascinates me, Nalara told her one evening as they watched the sunset from the facility roof. Your females are physically smaller than your males, yet you have achieved positions of authority. Lily smiled. Women fought hard for equality. It took centuries. Nalara shifted colors. In what Lily had learned was amusement. You misunderstand. I am surprised your males have any authority at all. In most intelligent species, females are naturally superior. This cultural difference fascinated Lily. Female Scilicii? I lived nearly twice as long as males and possessed stronger telepathic abilities, which they considered the mark of evolutionary advancement. As the diplomatic talks progressed, Earth leaders remained cautious about the proposed alliance. The Scilicii offered advanced technology, in exchange for Earth becoming a military partner against the cracks. Kate found Lily in the lab one night working late. The president is concerned this might be a trap, Kate said, leaning against the doorframe. Why would such an advanced species need our help? Lily looked up from her work. Because we have something they lack. What adaptability? Lily stood stretching her tired muscles. The Scilicii evolved in a stable environment. Their technology is advanced, but their thinking is linear. The cracks overwhelm them because they change tactics rapidly. The Scilicii believe humans, especially human women, can provide the creative solutions they need. Kate nodded slowly. That makes sense in a weird way. But can we trust them? Lily thought about Nalara and the other Scilicii she had come to know. I believe we can. But trust needs to be earned on both sides. As she spoke, the facility alarm began blaring. Kate grabbed her communicator. What is it? Her face paled as she listened to the response. A crack scout ship has entered our solar system. It's heading toward Earth. Lily felt her blood run cold. The threat was no longer theoretical. It had arrived. The facility erupted into chaos as personnel rushed to battle stations. Lily followed Kate to the command center where General Adams was already coordinating with military leaders worldwide. On the main screen, a dark object moved through space beyond Mars orbit. Its shape reminded Lily of a massive spider with multiple appendages extending from a central body. Unlike the elegant Scilicii ships that glowed with blue light, this vessel absorbed light, making it look like a hole in space. The Scilicii delegation arrived moments later. Matriarch Alora moved to the center of the room, her skin pulsing with urgent colors. It is, as we feared, a crack scout. They will scan your world, then summon the Harvester fleet. What are our options? General Adams asked. Have brought weapons that can destroy this scout, Alora replied. But we must act quickly before it reports back to its fleet. Within hours, a joint mission was planned. A Scilicii ship carrying both alien and human crew would intercept the Crack's vessel. Beyond lunar orbit, Lily volunteered despite Kate's strong objections. I understand them better than anyone else, she argued. We need someone who can communicate effectively if something goes wrong. The mission commander, a stern woman named Patricia, Hughes reluctantly agreed. Lily joined a team that included Nalara, 2 other Silixi, and 4 human specialists. They boarded a Silixi vessel that looked like a teardrop made of crystal and metal. The ship moved with impossible speed, reaching lunar orbit in minutes. Lily stood at the observation window watching Earth shrink behind them. Her stomach lurched as the vessel accelerated beyond anything human technology could achieve. Nalara approached, standing beside her. "Your world is beautiful," she said. Her skin shifted to soft blue tones. The cracks would destroy it without thought. They consume resources until nothing remains, then move to the next world. "How do you fight them?" Lily asked. "With difficulty," Nalara admitted. "The cracks are connected through a hive mind. They think and act as one, making them difficult to predict. They adapt quickly to our weapons and tactics." The ship slowed as they approached the coordinates where the cracks vessel had been detected. The lights dimmed as they entered. Stealth mode. All unnecessary systems powered down. There, Patricia pointed to the view screen. The crack scout appeared as a dark mass against the stars. "They have detected us," Nalara announced. Her skin pulsed with warning colors. "We should retreat and wait for reinforcements." Mary Torres, the human tactical officer, studied the sensor readings and shook her head. "If we wait, they will call for their own backup. We need to act now." The Silixi looked uncertain. Their strategy relied on overwhelming force and superior numbers. Mary outlined a plan that seemed reckless to the aliens but made perfect sense to the humans. They would use the magnetic field of Jupiter to mask their approach, then launch a surprise attack. The Silixi had brought an experimental weapon designed to disrupt the hive mind of the cracks, but it required close-range deployment. "This is not protocol," Nalara protested. "The risk is unacceptable." Lily placed a hand on the alien woman's arm. "Sometimes you have to improvise." Patricia nodded. "That unpredictability is exactly why the Silixi sought our help, isn't it?" Nalara reluctantly agreed. The ship altered course using Jupiter's massive magnetic field as cover. The cracks vessel continued its methodical scan of the solar system, unaware of their approach. As they closed distance, Lily felt a strange pressure in her mind, a cold alien presence trying to probe her thoughts. Nalara noticed her discomfort. "The cracks sense us," she said. "They are trying to read our intentions." "Shield your thoughts." "How?" Lily asked, fighting the invasion. Nalara placed her slender fingers on Lily's temples. "Focus on a simple repeating pattern, something meaningless." Lily thought of ocean waves repeating endlessly. The pressure eased slightly. The ship moved into position, just a few kilometers from the cracks vessel. Now they could see it clearly, a biomechanical nightmare of twisted metal and organic material pulsing with sickly green light. "Ready the weapon," Patricia ordered. Mary activated the device, which began to hum with increasing intensity. "Ready to fire on your command. Fire." The weapon released a pulse of energy that struck the crack ship. The effect was immediate. The vessel shuddered and its organized movements became erratic. The appendages flailed randomly. "It's working," Nalara said, her skin brightening with excitement. "We have disrupted their hive connection, but the victory was short-lived." The cracks vessel began to adapt its surface, shifting and changing. The green glow intensified. "They are reconnecting," Nalara warned. "We must fire again." The weapon recharged slowly, too slowly. The cracks vessel extended an appendage toward them. Evasive action. Patricia shouted. The Silixi pilot tried to move the ship, but the cracks fired first. A green beam struck their hull. The ship shuddered and alarms blared. Mary fired the weapon again just as the cracks vessel prepared a second attack. The energy pulse hit directly. This time the effect was more dramatic. The crack ship went completely dark. Its appendages, rigid. "Did we destroy it?" Lily asked. "No," Nalara replied. "We severed their connection to the hive mind. Without it, they cannot function. The cracks are not individuals. They exist only as part of the collective Patricia. Ordered a scan of the disabled vessel. We should gather intelligence while we can. A team prepared to board the crack ship. Lily surprised herself by volunteering again. Something about this encounter felt personal, as if she needed to understand the threat they faced. The boarding party consisted of Lily, Nalara, Patricia, and 2 security officers. They wore protective suits that the Silixi provided designed to shield against both physical and psychic attacks. They entered the crack's vessel through what appeared to be an airlock. The interior was unlike anything Lily had imagined. Organic material merged with technology in ways that defied human engineering understanding. Tunnels branched in all directions, lit by a dim green bioluminescence. The air felt thick and moist. Even through her suit, Lily sensed the wrongness of this place this way. Nalara indicated a larger chamber ahead. The central control room contained no chairs or stations as humans would expect. Instead, it held pods with cracks creatures connected by tubes and wires. They were humanoid but with gray skin and no distinct facial features. Their bodies were thin, almost skeletal with elongated limbs. They are dormant without the hive connection, Nalara explained. These are merely vessels, physical anchors for the collective consciousness. Lily studied the alien technology, trying to understand how it functioned. When she touched a console, images flashed in her mind. Cities burning, worlds stripped of life, species enslaved or exterminated. She pulled her hand away with a gasp. Patricia was downloading data from what appeared to be the main system. We need to take this back for analysis. As they worked, Lily noticed something strange about the ship design. Certain elements reminded her of Silixi technology, though twisted and corrupted. She mentioned this to Nalara, who avoided her gaze. Many species develop similar solutions, she said, but her skin darkened, suggesting she was hiding something. They returned to their ship with the gathered intelligence. The crack's vessel was set to self-destruct once they were clear, ensuring it could never reconnect with its fleet during the journey back to Earth. Lily explored the ship while others rested. She found herself in a restricted area, a database center containing Silixi. Historical records. Curious, she accessed a terminal using the language skills she had developed. What she discovered stunned her. The cracks were not a naturally evolved species. They had been created by the Silixi males who had rebelled against the matriarchy centuries ago. The war was essentially a civil conflict, and Earth had been drawn into it. Lily heard movement behind her and turned to find Nalara watching. You should not be here, the Silixi said, her skin pulsing with dark colors. You lied to us, Lily accused. The cracks are your creation, your people's creation. We did not lie. Nalara moved closer. We omitted. We needed your help. The cracks would have found your world regardless. They destroy all life they encounter, but they are your responsibility, Lily argued. A problem you created and now want humans to help solve. Nalara lowered her head. Our males created them centuries ago when they sought to overthrow the matriarchy. The experiment escaped their control. The cracks evolved beyond their original programming. They seek to destroy all life, including the Silix. Lily felt betrayed, but also understood the desperation that had driven the Silixi to seek allies. She faced a difficult choice: reveal what she had learned and potentially destroy the alliance, or keep the secret and help both species find a solution. The ship approached Earth. Lily watched her home planet grow larger in the viewport. The beautiful blue world had no idea how close it had come to discovery by the cracks, or that it was now involved in an ancient alien civil war. She needed to decide what to do with her discovery before they landed. The ship landed at the desert facility under cover of darkness. Lily had remained silent about her discovery during the return journey, using the time to think. She watched as Patricia reported the mission success to General Adams and the other officials. The team was celebrated as heroes for destroying the crack scout before it could alert others. After the debriefing, Lily pulled Kate aside. We need to talk privately, she said, her voice low. Something happened on that ship. They walked to Kate's office, and Lily closed the door, making sure they were truly alone. Then she revealed what she had found in the SciFi database. Kate listened, her expression growing increasingly troubled. So this whole thing is an alien civil war. And they dragged us into it without telling us. Lily nodded. They didn't exactly lie, but they definitely hid the truth. The cracks were created by male SciFi centuries ago during an attempted rebellion against the female leadership. The experiment went wrong and the cracks evolved beyond their control. And now they want us to help clean up their mess. Kate shook her head. But why us? What's so special about humans? Lily had been thinking about this. The SciFi society is highly structured and hierarchical. They think in very specific patterns, which makes them predictable to the cracks. But humans, especially human women, approach problems differently. We improvise, adapt, find creative solutions. They need that. So what do? Tell everyone, Lily considered. If we reveal this now, it could destroy the alliance. And despite their deception, I believe the SciFi truly want peace. The cracks are a threat to all life, not just the SciFi. They decided to confront matriarch Elora directly. The SciFi leader received them in her private chambers, a room filled with strange plants and softly glowing crystals. Her skin dimmed when Lily explained what she had discovered. So you know our shame, Elora said. Her voice sounded tired. It happened 5 centuries ago. Our society was not always as you see it now. Once males and females shared power equally. But a faction of males led by scientist Varen believed females were becoming too dominant. They created the first cracks as warriors bound to their will. The plan failed. The cracks broke their programming and turned on all SciFi. They escaped into deep space, evolving and growing stronger. They returned periodically to attack our worlds. Why didn't you tell us the whole truth? Lily asked. Would you have helped us if you knew? Elora countered. Your leaders are cautious. They might have seen our request as asking humans to solve our internal problem. Kate leaned forward. Honesty builds trust. Deception destroys it. If you want a real alliance with Earth, it must be based on truth. Elora considered this. Her skin shifted through thoughtful patterns of blue and purple. You are wise. Your perspective is why we sought human allies, particularly human females. The cracks think like our males. Logical, sequential, predictable. Females of many species, including yours, think in patterns that confuse the hive mind. You saw this during the mission. Your tactical officer suggested a strategy no SciFi would have considered, but there must be more to this story. Lily pressed. You said this happened centuries ago. Why haven't you defeated the cracks in all this time? Elora gestured, and a holographic display appeared showing 2 distinct genetic patterns. One we believe belongs to the original SciFi, the other a modified version. The males who created the cracks altered themselves as well. Elora explained. They believed they were creating a superior form of life. The cracks were meant to be their weapons, but the males themselves changed, becoming more like their creations. They call themselves the Ascended. Now they guide the cracks from hiding. They know our weaknesses because they were once us. So this isn't just about defeating the cracks, Kate said. It's about healing a division in your own species. Yes, though, many believe that is impossible now. The Ascended have rejected peace offers for centuries. They believe female leadership weakened our species and seek to replace us with their new creation. Lily thought about human history, about wars and divisions that seemed impossible to heal. Yet somehow humanity had always found paths forward, however difficult. I think you need to tell Earth leaders everything, Lily said. All of it. Not just about the threat, but about its origins. This is the only way to build real trust. Elora agreed, though reluctantly. A full council was called with Earth representatives and the complete SciFi delegation. The revelation caused initial outrage among human leaders. Some called for immediately ending the alliance. Lily stepped forward to address the council. Yes, the SciFi should have been honest from the beginning, she acknowledged, but the threat is still real. The cracks and their ascended leaders would destroy Earth regardless of our involvement with the SciFi. They consume all life they encounter. And now that we have destroyed their scout, they will eventually come looking for us. General Adams stood. I agree the threat is real. But how can we trust allies who begin with deception? Matriarch Elora rose her tall form, commanding attention. We acknowledge our error. We come from a culture where information is shared based on need and status. It was wrong to apply this principle here. We offer complete transparency going forward. The debate continued for hours. Finally, a compromise was reached. The alliance would continue, but under new terms. The Sci-Fi would share all technology and historical information with Earth, and a joint council would make decisions about strategy against the cracks in. The weeks that followed, Lily worked closely with Nalara, developing a deeper understanding of both Sci-Fi culture and cracks' weaknesses. Nalara taught her about the Sci-Fi language and its subtle complexities, while Lily helped Nalara understand human creativity and adaptability. Your approach to problems fascinates me, Nalara said one day as they worked in the lab. You see possibilities where we see only established patterns. Lily smiled. That's because humans have always had to adapt to survive. Our planet has changed dramatically over our evolution, forcing us to change with it. Your world was more stable, allowing your society to develop more rigid structures. Their work was interrupted by an urgent summons. The detection system the Sci-Fi had helped install had identified multiple crack signatures at the edge of the solar system. They know their scout is missing. Elora confirmed when they gathered in the command center. They send a small fleet to investigate. How many ships? Patricia asked, studying the sensor data. 7. Elora replied, each carries hundreds of cracks drones, but that is not our greatest concern. She pointed to a larger signal behind the others. That is an ascended command vessel. It carries the leaders who guide the cracks hive. Mind for the first time, Lily saw fear in the Sci-Fi matriarch's expression. The Ascended rarely involve themselves directly in attacks. They must consider Earth a significant threat or opportunity. We have 2 weeks before they reach Earth orbit. General Adams announced, we need to prepare. The Joint Human Sci-Fi Defense Council worked around the clock developing strategies. The Sci-Fi provided advanced weapons and shield technology, while human military experts designed unpredictable battle plans. Lily found herself in a unique position. Her understanding of both species made her valuable as a bridge between them. She noticed that the Sci-Fi often dismissed human suggestions that seemed illogical to them, while humans sometimes grew frustrated with Sci-Fi rigidity. During one heated planning session, she interrupted a growing argument. This is exactly what makes us stronger together, she said, addressing the room. Our different approaches, our different ways of thinking. The cracks expect the Sci-Fi to behave in certain ways. They won't expect what humans bring to this fight. And the Ascended won't expect their created children to face their original cousins working together with a new species. Her words helped refocus the group on their common goal as the cracks fleet drew closer. The first part of the human plan was put into action. Rather than waiting for the attack, Earth forces would strike first, sending a message directly to the Ascended command ship. Lily helped craft the message addressing the Ascended leaders. Directly, we know who you are. We know you were once Sci-Fi. We invite you to talk, not fight. The response came quickly, transmitted in the ancient Sci-Fi language that Lily had been studying. We do not negotiate with inferior beings. The old ways have failed. The future belongs to the evolved. Despite the rejection, Lily saw an opportunity. The Ascended had responded. They were curious enough to communicate. That meant they could potentially be reached. The countdown to confrontation continued. Defensive systems were activated around Earth. A joint fleet of human and Sci-Fi ships prepared to meet the cracks armada. Earth stood united as never before, facing an extraterrestrial threat. Lily found herself unable to sleep the night before the expected battle. She stood outside the facility, looking up at the stars somewhere among them. The cracks fleet approached, bringing destruction. Nalara joined her, the Sci-Fi scientist's skin glowing softly in the darkness. Are you afraid? Lily asked. Yes, Nalara admitted. I have seen worlds fall to the cracks. I do not wish to see it happen to Earth. We won't let it, Lily said with more confidence than she felt. Humans have faced extinction-level threats before. We always find a way. Nalara studied her curiously. You truly believe you can win against an enemy that has fought us for centuries? Not alone, Lily replied. But together I think we have a chance and maybe something more. What do you mean a chance for true peace? Lily looked up at the stars again. Not just defeating the cracks, but healing the divide between the Scilicii and the Ascended, finding a way forward for all. Dawn broke over the facility as final preparations were made. The joint fleet positioned itself in high Earth orbit. A mix of human vessels and Scilicii ships formed a defensive line against the approaching cracks. Armada Lily sat in the command center, watching tactical displays with Kate and General Adams. The mood was tense as countdown clocks showed less than 6 hours. Until the enemy fleet arrived, Matriarch Alora entered, flanked by her advisors. Her skin pulsed with determined colors. The Ascended have increased speed. They will arrive in 5 hours. Lily stood up. We need to try one more time to communicate. General Adams frowned. They already rejected our message. Not with the Ascended. Lily clarified with the cracks directly. The drones, the foot soldiers. What if we could disrupt their connection to the Ascended even temporarily? Give them a chance to think independently. The Scilicii looked shocked at the suggestion. The cracks have no independent thought, Elora said. They exist only as extensions of the hive mind, but they were created from Scilicii. Lily argued if the Ascended could change your biology, perhaps the cracks can change too. They just need the opportunity. Kate supported her. The weapon we used against the scout ship broke their connection. Temporarily. What if we could do that on a larger scale? Patricia, who had been analyzing the scout ship data, joined them. We found something interesting. The cracks communication system uses a specific frequency to maintain the hive mind. Our weapon disrupted it temporarily, but they adapted. If we could broadcast on multiple changing frequencies, a spark of hope lit in Lily's mind. That could work. But we'd need to get close enough to their command ship. Nalara, who had been quiet, spoke up. I believe I can modify our ship's main deflector to emit such a pulse. But someone would need to get close enough to the Ascended vessel to deploy it. It was a suicide mission. Everyone in the room knew it. The Ascended ship would be heavily protected at the center of the cracks formation. It'll go, Lily said. The word surprised even her. Kate grabbed her arm. Absolutely not. You're not trained for combat, but I'm the only one who understands both languages, both cultures, Lily argued. If we manage to disrupt the hive mind, someone needs to be there to communicate with them, to offer an alternative. The debate raged for an hour. Finally, a compromise was reached. Lily would join a small strike team aboard a Scilicii stealth ship. Their mission would be to get close enough to the Ascended vessel to deploy the modified pulse weapon, and if possible establish communication. Nalara volunteered to go with her, along with Patricia and 3 Scilicii warriors, as they prepared to depart. Kate pulled Lily aside. This is crazy, you know that, right? Lily nodded, but it might be our only chance for something better than war. If we just destroy the cracks, the cycle continues. The Ascended will create something new, and next time they might succeed. Kate hugged her. Just come back, okay? The stealth ship departed 4 hours before the cracks' arrival. Their plan was to position themselves in the asteroid belt and wait for the enemy fleet to pass, then approach from behind, using the debris as cover. As they traveled, Nalara worked to modify the ship systems, creating the pulse weapon they would need. Lily helped where she could, but much of the technology was beyond her understanding. Instead, she focused on what she would say if they succeeded in breaking the hive mind connection. What will you tell them? Patricia asked as they reached the asteroid belt and powered down to wait. The truth, Lily replied. That they were created as weapons, but they could be more. That they have a choice. The cracks fleet appeared on schedule. 7 massive ships surrounding a larger central vessel. The formation moved with perfect coordination, each ship maintaining exact distance from the others. Now, Nalara whispered, activating the stealth drive. Their ship slipped out from behind an asteroid and followed, the cracks fleet maintaining distance. The plan was working. The enemy seemed unaware of their presence as they approached Earth. The combined human Scilicii defense fleet waited in orbit. Weapons. Ready. General Adams' voice came through their secure channel. Clear to proceed with Operation Disconnect. We will engage the fleet to create a distraction in 10 minutes. Patricia piloted their ship closer to the cracks formation using minimal power to avoid detection. They were now close enough to see details of the ascended command vessel. It was unlike the other ships, elegant with elements of Scilicii design but twisted into something darker, more threatening. 5 minutes to engagement. General Adams updated. Lily felt her heart pounding. The stakes could not be higher if they failed. Earth would face the full might of the cracks fleet. Nalara finished the final adjustments to the pulse weapon. The device hummed with energy. Ready, she announced. But we need to get closer. Much closer. 3 minutes. Patricia guided the ship toward the command vessel using the crack ships themselves as cover. Each second brought them nearer to discovery. 1 minute. They were now directly behind the ascended ship, close enough to see the massive engines glowing with green. Energy engagement beginning. The distant flash of weapons fire lit space as the defense fleet attacked the front of the cracks formation. As planned, the drone ships moved to engage, leaving the command vessel less protected. Now, Patricia shouted, accelerating toward the ascended ship. Their small vessel darted forward, approaching a docking port on the massive command ship. Proximity alarms blared. As the cracks detected them, were being scanned. Nalara warned, "They know we're here." "Deploy the pulse," Lily ordered. Nalara activated the weapon. A wave of energy spread outward from their ship, striking the command vessel first, then expanding to the drone ships. The effect was immediate. The perfect formation broke as ships began drifting randomly. "It's working," Nalara said, her skin bright with excitement. "We've disrupted the hive connection, but the effect would be temporary." They had minutes at most to act. "We're docking," Patricia announced, guiding their ship to connect with the command vessel. The airlock sealed against. The crack ship Lily, Nalara, and 2 Scilicii warriors prepared to board, while Patricia stayed behind to maintain their escape route. "This is insane," Patricia said. "But good luck." They entered the ascended ship, finding corridors similar to the scout vessel, but larger, more elaborate. The air felt thick and humid. Lights pulsed erratically, suggesting the disruption had affected internal systems as well. This way, Nalara indicated, following a scanner. They moved deeper into the ship, encountering confused cracks drones that wandered aimlessly without the hive mind guidance. The central chamber doors were sealed. Nalara worked to override the security, while Lily prepared herself for what they might find. The doors slid open, revealing a vast room unlike the rest of the ship. This chamber was elegant, almost beautiful, with elements that reminded Lily of Scilicii architecture. In the center stood 3 figures, taller than the Scilicii but with similar features. Their skin was gray with patterns of green. Light flowing beneath the surface, they wore ceremonial robes and regarded the intruders with cold, calculating eyes. The Ascended, "You disrupt our connection." A clever tactic, the central figure spoke in ancient Scilicii language. "But temporary. We will adapt as we always do." Lily stepped forward, addressing them directly. "I am Lily Martinez of Earth. We come seeking to end this conflict." The Ascended leader studied her with interest. "A human female. You are the ones who destroyed our scout. You are more resourceful than expected, but ultimately doomed." Lily held her ground. "We know who you are. We know you were once Scilicii. We know you created the cracks in an attempt to overthrow the matriarchy. But that was centuries ago. Surely there can be another way forward besides endless war." The leader seemed amused. "You understand nothing human. The matriarchy was stagnation. The cracks are evolution. We did not fail in our creation. We succeeded beyond our expectations. They are the future. Perfect, adaptable." Obedient around them, the cracks drones began to twitch, suggesting the hive mind was reasserting control. Their time was running out. "Evolution means change," Lily argued. "But you've trapped the cracks in servitude. That's not evolution, that's enslavement." You claim to be advanced, but you repeat the same patterns, the same conflicts century after century. That's not progress. The Ascended leader's confidence faltered slightly. What alternative do you propose? Nalara stepped forward, surprising Lily cooperation. She said, "Equality balance. The way it was before." The leader laughed, a Silixi female advocating for equality. How times have changed. But it is too late for such sentiments. Lily felt the opportunity slipping away. She needed something more convincing. Then she noticed the patterns on the walls. Ancient Silixi symbols telling a history she had glimpsed in the database. You were scientists, not warriors, she said, suddenly understanding. You wanted to improve your species, not destroy it. The cracks, evolution, went wrong. You lost control. But instead of admitting failure, you embraced it. You became what you had created. The Ascended leader's eyes narrowed. How do you know this? The patterns are here in your own ship. Lily gestured to the walls. You preserve your history, even as you try to erase it. You remember what you once were. A tremor ran through the ship. The hive mind was re-establishing control. Cracks drones in the corridors began moving with purpose again. We need to leave now. Nalara warned, but Lily saw something in the Ascended leader's expression, a flicker of doubt. She pressed her advantage. Earth has a history of conflict between genders, too. But we found ways toward balance. It wasn't perfect. It still isn't. But we keep trying. We evolve socially, not just biologically. The Silixi can do the same, you can do the same. The stealth ship detached from the Ascended vessel, as Crack's drones converged on their position. Patricia piloted with expert precision, navigating through the now chaotic formation of enemy ships. Did it work, she asked as they accelerated away. I need to know whether to head back to Earth or prepare for a suicide run. Lily took a deep breath. They agreed to talk. Order our fleet to cease fire. Patricia looked skeptical, but relayed the message. To her surprise, General Adams acknowledged the order. The human Silixi defense fleet powered down weapon systems, maintaining position, but no longer attacking on the main view screen. The Cracks fleet also stopped their advance. The drone ships resumed their perfect formation, but made no aggressive moves. Nalara monitored communications. They are sending a signal to all ships. Stand down temporary. Ceasefire for negotiations. Lily felt a flutter of hope. They actually listened. A new communication came through. The Ascended request a neutral meeting location. Patricia reported. They suggest Luna orbit with representatives from all three groups. General Adams' voice responded through the comm. Tell them agreed. 3 ships, only 1 from each faction. We will prepare a secure communication link for the discussions. Next 12 hours passed in a flurry of preparation. A Silixi diplomatic vessel was selected as the neutral meeting ground, positioned in lunar orbit. 3 smaller ships would dock with it, bringing representatives from Earth, the Silixi homeworld, and the Ascended Lily was the obvious choice to represent Earth along with Kate and General Adams. The Silixi delegation included Matriarch Elora and 2 advisors. The Ascended sent their leader, who introduced himself as Archon Varen, and 2 lieutenants. The meeting chamber aboard the diplomatic vessel was designed for negotiations with 3 distinct sections, arranged in a triangle. A neutral zone in the center contained communication equipment and holographic displays. As they gathered, tension filled. The air centuries of conflict and mistrust concentrated in a single room. Matriarch Elora spoke first, addressing Archon Varen directly. 500 years since you fled with your followers. 500 years of war. What do you hope to achieve through these talks that has not been attempted before? Varen studied the matriarch, his skin patterns shifting in complex ways. The human female made interesting points about evolution, about stagnation. Perhaps there are alternatives worth exploring. Lily stepped forward. I've studied both your histories as much as I could in the limited time available. The conflict began over governance, over who should lead, but it evolved into something deeper. A fundamental disagreement about what your species should become. Varen nodded. The matriarchy preferred stability over advancement, safety over potential. They feared change. We feared recklessness. Elora countered. Your experiments threatened our entire species. The cracks were created without proper safeguards, without consideration for consequences. And yet here they are. Varen gestured to a holographic display of the cracks fleet, a new form of life, adaptable, powerful, evolutionary perfection, but not free. Lily interjected. They exist only as extensions of your will. That isn't evolution, it's enslavement. You created them to be weapons, and that's all you allow them to be. Varen turned to her. You are young. Your species is young. You cannot understand the complexities. Kate joined the conversation. Perhaps that's exactly why we can see what you cannot. A fresh perspective on an ancient conflict, General Adams, who had remained silent, added, Earth has experienced similar divisions, ideological, technological, biological, but we found that diversity of thought makes us stronger, not weaker. When we work together, the discussions continued for hours. Each side presented their vision, their grievances, their demands. The talks nearly broke down several times, but Lily consistently brought them back to common ground. On the second day, she proposed something radical. What if the cracks were given autonomy, she suggested? Not complete freedom initially, but a gradual release from hive mind control. A chance to develop their own consciousness. The Ascended rejected this immediately. The cracks are not designed for independent thought. They would devolve into chaos. Nalara, who had joined the Silixi delegation, challenged this. Our records indicate the early cracks models showed signs of emerging consciousness before you suppressed it with stronger control mechanisms. This revelation surprised even Elora. Is this true? Varen did not deny it. The early models were flawed. They began developing unpredictable traits, empathy, creativity, individual desires. These made them less effective as warriors, or more evolved as beings, Lily suggested. The debate shifted to the fundamental question, what defined evolution? Was it merely biological advancement, or did it include social and cultural development? As a demonstration, Lily suggested a controlled experiment. One cracks drone disconnected from the hive mind, but with safeguards, allow it to develop independently under observation. After much negotiation, Varen agreed. A single cracks drone was brought aboard the diplomatic vessel and placed in a secure chamber. The Ascended leader severed its connection to the hive mind, using a device he wore. For 3 days they watched as the drone went through stages of confusion, disorientation, and fear. But gradually, something remarkable happened. The creature began to show curiosity, examining its surroundings, creating patterns with objects in its chamber, attempting communication through gestures. On the 4th day, Lily entered the chamber, against strong objections from both Silixi and Ascended delegates. The drone approached her cautiously, its movements no longer mechanical but fluid, purposeful. Name, Lily said, pointing to herself. Lily the drone studied her, then placed a hand on its chest, making a sound. Not words, exactly, but distinct vocalizations. Its own name. Lily smiled. You are an individual, she said, knowing it couldn't understand the words, but hoping it would sense the meaning. Not a weapon, not a tool. A being. When she emerged from the chamber, the impact of the demonstration was clear. The cracks could develop consciousness identity. They had the potential for true evolution beyond their programming. Varen seemed troubled by the implications. The Ascended had justified their actions for centuries by believing the cracks were merely tools. Now that foundation was cracking, the negotiations took on new urgency. A framework began to emerge. The cracks would be gradually given autonomy, beginning with a small colony on an uninhabited world. Ascended and Silixi scientists would work together to modify the hive-mind connection, making it a network of communication rather than control. Earth would provide neutral territory for ongoing discussions and human advisors to help bridge the cultural divide. It wasn't peace, not yet, but it was the beginning of understanding. A path forward after 5 centuries of conflict, as the formal agreement took shape. Lily found herself standing with Nalara and Varen on the observation deck looking down at Earth. "Your world is beautiful," the Ascended leader said. "It reminds me of our homeworld before the divisions. We could have that again," Nalara suggested. "Not by returning to the past, but by creating a new future together." Varen seemed to consider this. "The Selixi have changed in our absence. Perhaps we have as well." 3 months later, Lily stood on the surface of Mars watching as construction began on the neutral colony that would house representatives from all 3 species. The red planet would be the testing ground for their fragile alliance. Kate joined her, surveying the activity. Who would have thought humans would end up being the peacemakers in an alien civil war? Lily smiled. "That's our strength, isn't it? We understand conflict because we've experienced so much of it. But we also understand reconciliation." The first group of Krax drones, modified to allow independent thought while maintaining a communication network, worked alongside humans and Selixi, building habitation domes. Their movements were becoming less mechanical, more natural as their individual identities emerged. Matriarch Alora approached with Archon Varen. Both leaders had agreed to oversee the colony personally, a sign of their commitment to the process. "The Council wishes to formally thank you, Lily," Elora said. "You saw possibilities where we saw only ancient hatreds." Varen nodded. "Our scientists have studied your species extensively since our first encounter. Your adaptability, your creativity. These are traits we underestimated. You particularly demonstrated something we had forgotten." "What?" Lily asked. "That true evolution includes the ability to change one's mind," Varen replied. "Not just biology, but thought perception. Understanding." Nalara joined them, carrying a communication device. "The first transmissions from the Krax colony on Phobos," she announced. "Their language development is accelerating. They are creating their own culture, their own identity." It was a small beginning, a test case for a larger process that would take decades, perhaps centuries. But it was progress. As the Martian sun set, painting the sky in shades of red and gold, Lily thought about how far they had come. A year ago, she had been a xenolinguist studying signals from space, hoping for contact. Now she stood on another planet watching the birth of a new relationship between 3 species. The stars above held new meaning now. They represented not just distant suns but potential new beginnings. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger community, not as conquerors or victims but as mediators, bridges between ancient enemies. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Earth was no longer alone. And Lily Martinez, who had once only listened to the stars, now helped shape the conversation between worlds.